So I have this song that I wrote for internet marketers. Uh, it's about internet marketers, and I don't have a beat, but maybe I could find a beat. Um, and I think you guys are gonna like it. It just kind of like it was just like an inspired thought, you know. It's one of those. If you guys are live right now, let me know how I'm sounding and how you guys like this setup that I've created. This set. I think it's pretty good. I can adjust in, out, in. Of course, if you're listening on audio, you have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about. But let me just find what's that song that's like bum 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 pop yo shit rap song pop yo shit. What's that? Metro Boomin pop. Oh, it's called Pop Your Shit. Funny enough. All right, let me find the instrumental, and then I'm gonna share with you guys my new song called Internet. Oh, this is trippy. I'm like watching myself live. But okay. So Pop Your Shit instrumental. Here we go. All right. Yeah. Yeah. This song's for internet marketers. Hey. 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 Buy my shit. It's really sick. Hop on a call. Suck my dick. Give me that cash. Buy my shit. Buy my course. Buy my shit. Buy my course. It's really sick. Buy my shit. Suck my dick. Give me your cash. I got shit. Buy my shit. Buy my shit. Yeah, buy my offer. Buy my bitch. Buy my shit. That's it. What'd you guys think? That's as far as I've gotten. Did you like it? Chloe goes, "It's a is this a joke?" It's not a joke, guys. I'm already streaming live. That's just how I feel when I get like offered stuff by internet people. Um, yeah, that's what it feels like. That's like what it feels like when you're getting pitched to by internet marketing people. But anyway, today I'm going to tell you guys how to get people to buy your shit. Um, yeah, I think you guys are going to like it. So I just actually wrote this post, and I want to basically what my intention is here is to read it to you, but also to expand on it, you know, kind of just stream of consciousness and flow it, and and let me know, let me know what you guys think. So here we go. So it's called How to Make Money in 2024 by Finding the Wave. And then thoughts expanding on power and influence. So I did a poll on Instagram last night, and the results were pretty intriguing. And the question that I asked was, which content are you most excited to see from me in 2024? And the options were as follows. It was how to make money. It was personal branding, networking, relationships, and health. And the results were pretty interesting. The results were 41% of people want to know how to make money, or content related on how to make money. 29% of people were on the personal brand. They're interested in just personal branding. 70% of people wanted networking and relationships, and 13% of people are interested in health. Now, to expand on the post, I didn't put this in the post, but I think what's funny is that in order to make money in what some might say that is the new world, being in good shape and being healthy is like number one. Because if you're not tuned in, and if you're like, you need to have a lot of energy, you know, you need to have good energy. You need to be able to spot patterns that other people aren't seeing. And you also need to be able to work like a lot. And just being fit and active is like, yeah, and having your brain work well is really step number one. That's why when I was talking about the whole, Travajo era, the step number one was just focusing on being sexy or like, getting your cardio in, because when your body is like primed and feeling good, and you've gotten a good sweat in, your brain just works better. That's it. You're just more likely to get inspired thoughts, and you can work for longer periods of time. So that is that's why I thought it was funny that 13% of people said they were interested in health. Maybe my audience is just in great shape, although I do pay pretty careful attention to my direct messages, and I know that not everyone is in amazing shape, but that is a priority. So going back to the numbers, 41% of people said making money was important. 29% of people said personal brand. And those are pretty closely related. Like if you're interested in personal branding, you are also probably interested in make money. So I'm just going to add it up and say that 70% of my audience wants topics related to making money. Okay. And this means that I'm prepared to make a lot more content about making money, because clearly 70% of my audience wants making money related stuff. Okay. If you're watching this live, please comment in the chat if that's something you're interested in too. And so my areas of expertise when it comes to making money are as follows. Number one, persuasion, sales, and influence. I think that's probably my top trait and skill set. Personal branding and product branding, true no-code building, content creation, consulting and info products, and that's it. And then here's what I'm planning on not personally discussing. So the topics of agencies, drop shipping, trading, and crypto. And although I believe these models are still relevant in 2024, and I do know a little bit about each of them, but I want to bring you guys like experts. So I'm going to be doing my podcast. We have a whole studio set up here, and I'll be bringing on my intention is to my intention is to get on like experts in the space that don't talk about the stuff on social media. So, I will have on my course selling friends, in the e-com space and such, but my number one, focus for the podcast is to bring interesting people who wouldn't otherwise like share their secret sauce. Like guys who've just built $1 million a month e-com stores, or guys who've built, giant companies that just don't have brands and aren't sharing what they've learned. And ideally, brands that are primed for like the new world, like multi-million-dollar 1, 2, 3 person businesses, I think are very fascinating. And, growing up, I would always listen to Tim Ferriss, and Tim Ferriss is like a big inspiration to me. And he had a few posts about like $1 million 1 person businesses that were so inspiring to me. And I want to like be that guy now for you. I want to study these like $1 million 1 person businesses and bring you guys people that are doing it. And yeah, I think that like the more content like that's out there, the better. So I'm excited. I'm excited for that. Now, yeah, that's the mission of that podcast, and of who's here. There's tape that has arrived. Chloe's going to get tape. So yeah, that's the mission of the podcast. But for now, in this video, in this stream, in this podcast, I wanted to give you some of the introductory insights as to how I view making money in 2024. And so the first part of this is something that I'm coining the Hormetic order, which is obviously a play on the Hermetic principles. But this is the Hormetic order because Hormozi is like the number one guru right now. He's like the guy who's made hundreds of millions of dollars or created at least hundreds of millions of dollars of value. He doesn't have a course to sell. He's kind of like top G, in my opinion, when it comes to like business advice. And so I was actually I've been rereading his $100 million offers book, as most entrepreneurs are this time of year. But yeah, he talks about like, okay, so he talks about this like order of variables that are important when it comes to like starting in business. And the 3 variables are the market you're in, the product you're selling, and your sales and persuasion skills. And it's important in that order. So you have the starving market, you have the $100 million offer, and you have the focus on improving your sales and persuasion. And the order is critical because even if your offer and product and your sales and persuasion suck, you can still make money if you're in a starving market. And so, for example, if you're running a marathon and you haven't had any water for hours, but you're nearing the last mile and you come across a water stand, and the guy selling it wants, $10 per cup of water, and it's like shitty water, and he's kind of annoying and he smells bad, you would still buy the water, right? Because you're starving. In this case, obviously you're not starving, you're thirsty, but you're extremely thirsty. And if you don't have it, you might pass out, right? So you're going to drink it even if it sucks and even if the salesman is a little weird because you just need it, right? And you're in a lot of pain. Okay. So first off, whatever business you're in, it's very crucial that you make sure that you're attacking the most starving market that you can find. And to be clear, the most starving market usually follows an external trend line. So for example, during the 2020 to 2022 pandemic, my friend Felix Hutenbach, who's a very intelligent guy and entrepreneur, very skilled entrepreneur, took advantage of the lockdown trend and the pandemic and the C-19 stuff. And he launched a testing company that made hundreds of millions of dollars in the course of a couple years. And like within the first month, they were making hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like, what business do you launch where you make hundreds of thousands of dollars in the first month? Unless you have a starving market, right? Like they had basically an MVP. They had a table, they had a doctor, they had a swab, they had a test. And they had a starving market, which is people who needed to get tested to find out if they had this thing to travel or go anywhere, go to work or whatever. And on top of that, they had like insurance companies that were paying for the tests. And so they made hundreds of millions of dollars, right? And so, similar businesses selling, in that era, like they were selling PPE, so the, masks and equipment to protect themselves against the scary thing that was happening back then. And those kind of companies made tons and tons of money too. Like anyone who started a company that solved any problem related to the virus thing made a lot of money. So that was key, right? Like they had the starving market down. Now another starving market is, crypto during a bull run. And like I have several friends who launched products or NFT projects or coins or things on the blockchain. Like one of my friends launched a on-chain music label and made $200,000 in 5 minutes. Another set of friends, guys who actually followed my content for a while, launched an NFT project and made $1 million in like a day, just because the market is starving for projects to buy and to pour money into. And so how do you find a starving market, like a truly starving market? Well, it typically is associated with an external trend. Okay. And so you kind of just got to pay attention to those macro trends and maybe predict into the future, like what is something that in the future people might really, really want. And then, if something does come along, how can you tailor your offer and adjust and be adaptable with your product or your, whatever it is you're selling so that it's more appealing to people, in that time period. And so the idea is you want to test things, right? And when you're in the right market, it will feel like you are surfing the most perfect and large wave. And that is as opposed to being in an overly saturated market where your business feels more like, you're in a sea of like people boogie boarding and it's super choppy waves and it's windy and it's kind of uncomfortable and there's people bumping into you. Like that's what it feels like when, you're in a crowded, saturated market. And like, no matter how good you are at sales and persuasion, and how amazing your product is, if you're in, a sea of people also boogie boarding all around you, it's going to be hard to catch a great wave, right? And so focusing on finding a very big wave is number one, where there aren't a lot of people surfing. And if there's no big waves and all the beaches are crowded, then you'd better dial in on your $100 million offer, AKA you get an electric flying surfboard with a kite and you make surfing that makes surfing fun, even if it's a crowded market, because you can basically fly over everybody else, and you are everyone else is trying to catch small waves. Meanwhile, you're on like the foiler with the kite, and you're flying over everybody literally, and you easily stand out, right? And now, if you don't even have a flying surfboard and you don't have a good wave, you need to just be really fucking good at surfing. Like, you need to be the best surfer in the water. So what I mean by that is, you need to look, number one, you need to look where no one else is. Then you need to build an extremely good offer, and then you need to sell the fuck out of it and get really good at persuasion. And to keep to my analogy, you need to find a beach with gigantic waves and that no one knows about. And then you need to get an electric flying surfboard with a kite, and you need to surf every single day. And that's going to make you like unstoppable. And so, to be honest, this should be thought provoking enough for you to analyze your 2024 business plans. And like, I would pause here and just start to think like, okay, do I have a big wave in front of me? Or is it possible that in the near future, I could relate my business to a big wave that's coming? This is why I think, it's advantageous. I'm even thinking about it myself. Like, how can I somehow tie my products and offers to crypto so that when the crypto bull run comes, my offer's like ready and positioned where other people are like scrambling to create offers around it. So yeah, you want to be, again, as I would say, the Hormetic overlord says, you want to be the guy solving the problem for the exact, for like a very specific person. So I should also note that this methodology and this like kind of way of thinking also applies to being an investor and to investing, because as an investor, you basically want to find the best surfer with the best equipment at the beach that the fewest people know about with the best waves. And so, for example, my friend Daniel, Crypto Dan, is very good at this when it comes to spotting crypto projects that are bound to like 50 or even 400x. And what he does is he finds projects during a time when no one cares about crypto, and he looks at the fundamentals. He sees if their equipment is good, right? And he sees the narrative, and he sees if this could be a wave that amounts and eventually blows up. And then a few months later, when the project does blow up and everyone starts finding out about the project and starts pouring money in, or in other words, when surfers start to find out about the surf spot, that's when Daniel cashes out and leaves that beach, and he sells all his shares. And as a side note, Daniel and I are going to be doing some live calls in the next few days for people wanting to get into crypto and wanting to get into crypto investing, because it is a way that even if you have a few hundred or a few $1,000s laying around, or if you have tens of thousands of dollars, you can seriously separate yourself from the masses in the wealth categories. So I digress. This video podcast is mainly about making money, not about investing. So let's get back into it. Oh, I just looked at the clock. Oh my goodness. It is time for me to go. Well, I will pause here. I hope that was enough for you guys to think about, and I'll continue this another time. I didn't realize I have to go. I have to go to my trainer, and I can continue this stream later on. So if you guys like this, leave a thumbs up, share it, drop a comment. If you guys have any questions, shoot me a DM on Instagram. It's at Arlen, and hope you guys enjoyed this so far. And I'll see you in the next stream.